Welcome back to Decoding. Let's continue the series on Frappe Developer. From this video, we will start programming in Frappe framework. We will start from client-side scripting using JavaScript, and later we will learn server-side scripting using Python. So let's start learning. We can start from initializing a new bench, and in this time we will use VS Code for programming and running bench commands. So let's open VS Code. Now VS Code is ready. Go to the terminal and create a new terminal. Here we can see our terminal, and now we are in our home directory. So for initializing a new bench, let's run this command bench init. Then I am giving the name programming bench. Now we successfully initialize programming bench. Let's open the bench directory in VS Code. Go to the file and click on open folder. And here we can see our programming bench. Select programming bench and click on OK. Now here we can see the programming bench directory and subdirectories inside this programming bench. So let's open the terminal. And now we are in programming bench directory. Let's start the bench using the command bench start. Now my bench is up and running, and here we can see the link to open the web application in web browser. I'm not opening this right now because we didn't create any site. So let's create a new site. I'm opening one more terminal. Let's run this command bench new site, and let's give the name code.in and press enter. This will create a database in MariaDB, so let's enter the root user password of MariaDB. So it will also create an administrator user, so we have to create a password for login. Let's create a password. Now we successfully created our site. So let's restart the bench. Let's clear this. Now the bench is up and running, and here we can see the link to open the web application. So let's create a new application for creating doctypes. And let me clear this. And this command bench new app. Then let's give the name programming app. Now we have to enter the details of our application. I am not changing the app title. Then in description, let's add JavaScript and Python programming. Publisher decoding. Let's enter the mail to decoding@gmail.com. I am using the default icon and also default color and default license. Now we successfully installed our programming application into our programming bench. Let's open the app directory, and here we can see our programming app. Next we have to install this application into our code.in site. So let's run this command bench site, then the site name, install app, then let's enter the application name. It is programming app. And now we successfully installed our application into our code.in site. So let's restart the bench again. Now we can see the bench is stopped. Let's clear this. Start the bench using this command bench start. We have to do one more thing, and which is setting up the site into developer mode. For that, let's run this command bench site, and my site name, which is code.in, set config global developer mode 1. And now we successfully enabled the developer mode in our site. Open the site directory and let's open the common site configuration.json file. And here we can see the developer mode is 1. So we successfully set the developer mode in our site. Now we can open the web application to our browser. So let's go back to our previous terminal, and here we can open this link. Let's enter the username and password. Click on login. Next we have to complete the setup wizard. I'm selecting the language English, then click on next. And we have to select country. I'm selecting India. Click on complete setup. Now we can see the updated version of Desk. Let's click on help and about. Here we can see the programming application, and which is inside the installed application list. So let's close this. Now we completed the first step, and next one is creating doctype. Here I am creating two doctypes with names parent doctype and child doctype for programming. So let's start creating doctypes. Here we can see the shortcut for doctype, and click on add doctype. Let's give the name parent doc, and which is belongs to our programming application module. Let's select the module programming app. Next time I'm changing this doctype into a submittable doctype. So let's click on this is submittable. Now we have to create some fields for this parent doc. So let's create the fields. I'm also adding a naming series based on the first name. So let's create the naming series. Before that, let's give the field name first name. Then let's copy this and paste it here. Now we can save this doc type. Next we have to add a child table into this parent doc type. So let's go to the doc type list, create a new doc type. Let's give the name parent child table. Next we have to select the programming app module and click on each child table. Let's create some fields. And set the doc type property in list view. Let's save this. And now we created parent child table. Let's copy this name and go to the parent doc. Then create a table field in options. Let's paste this parent child table and add a name, date, and values. Then drag it into the data section. Save this. Now we created a parent doc type. So when we create a parent doc type, it will also create the JavaScript and Python file for controlling the scripts. We can also see the parent doc type list. So let's go to the parent doc type list. Here we can create different documents for parent doc types. We can see our fields inside this document view. We can add first name, last name, then address. Inside this data section we can see our child table, and which contains the date field and two integer value fields. So now we can start programming in parent doc. For that, let's open the VS Code. Let's open the apps directory and programming app. Again, programming app directory. Inside this we can see our module, which is programming app, and click on doc type. Here we can see our parent doc type directory. Inside this directory we can see the parent doc.js and parent doc py file for controlling both front-end and back-end, and we can also see the parent doc.json file, and which is a metadata containing file, and this file is used for creating database and database tables. Here I am starting with JavaScript programming. So for that, let's open this parent doc.js file, and inside this parent doc.js file we can see the line Frappe UI form on parent doc. Means this controlling file is used for controlling the client-side script of parent doc. So let's start with a simple message printing method. So the method is frappe dot message print. Sorry. And inside these codes we can write our message. So let's write hello world. Now we successfully called that method, and next we have to create a triggering point for this method. So we can start with a simple triggering point, and which is a refresh triggering point. For that, let's uncomment this. Let's move to this method into that triggering point. The refresh event will trigger this message print whenever we refresh this form. So let's save this. I'm going to my parent doc and let's refresh this. And now we can see the message hello world in a message box. So let's close this and verify one more time. Let's refresh this page and we can also see the message hello world. From this video we have seen how to program the front-end script using JavaScript file. So let's wind up this video and see you on the next video. Bye.